Hey, hi, neighbor Al here. 25th of October. I'm in the barn. The framing for the concrete forms has started, and I just want to show you what's happening. Mostly because if you ever do this, we'll figure out later on if it's a good idea or not, but you can see what I'm doing and you can think about it yourself if you're going to go up against it at the same time. The big deal here is eventually these walls will have what they call dairy board on them, a high density polyethylene sheeting. The point being that way I can pressure wash the walls to keep mold off, make it a sanitary space. So if it ever becomes commercial, which I kind of hope it does, I won't have to go back and undo mistakes. I can't necessarily say I'm going to be able to spend the money on the high density right away, but I have to plan for it as I put pieces in. What I'm doing is, except for this spot right here, where is the main entrance to the room, there will be curbs. The floor will be there, and then the sill plate will rise 3 to 4 inches above the level floor, so you have a concrete step. The reason being is I want that wooden sill plate fastened above the grade of the floor, and then when the dairy board sheathing goes over it, it will overlap that edge. So when I hose the walls down, the water is just going to drip onto the floor down into the drain. So what we've got here is they have started putting in the forms, going around, bracing them. There's rebar down inside, and I have foam insulation against the outside surfaces to try and help the cold creep out. I don't have insulation on this side here because it's abutting an insulated space, plus that piece of wood there is going to provide some thermal isolation. Certainly do against the outside wall. They found that big rock where they were digging out some more. Hate that. And I've got to, you've seen me do all this work to remove dirt. Well, once they're done, I got more dirt to get out of here. So, such is life. They have one more part that they need to do, which is a little backing right here where we abut the tack room. I'll talk to them. I may or may not stick foam down in there. Probably will, because there's a nice gap under the floor to just slip some in. There is the tank. Oh, the floor, the height of the floor will be flush with the top of the pump tank. So it gives you an idea. This floor is coming up quite a bit. But there will be 2 inches of foam in the gravel, and the piping for the drains will all be in here. So it's kind of funny. We had the same situation before. The room seems very cathedral when you're walking around the dirt before you put the floor in, and suddenly it gets shorter again. So, such is life. Because I'm putting the sills in, and that sill plate will be out away from the wall where the other one was between the risers on the other walls, the wall joists, whatever you call them. Those walls will be thicker. I'm giving up a little bit of floor space. I'm okay with that. I'm going to increase the insulation in this room with the consideration that one day it might get refrigerated and it might be chilled. I'm more interested in being able to control the temperature that way. Also, for slow ferments, the only heat source in here might be the fermenters. So I want it to be able to stay warm. Giving up the floor space isn't that critical. It's the other stuff. The ceiling will be a little bit harder to do because, again, I'm going to offset the studs and get more up into the ceiling for insulation. So that's what's going on here at Happy Dog Farm. I leave for Cider Day in Massachusetts next week. My hope is that the pour is completed for the curbs before I leave. Once the curbs are done, they take a little while to cure. I'll come back. They will have cured enough that when I start my front end loader dumping gravel in here to spread it, I'll be able to put the front wheels onto that the curb itself and not worry about damaging the concrete. It will have cured enough. It will have hardened enough. And also I figure by the time I come back, the guys will probably have pulled the forms out anyway. So I'm thinking the next video you're going to see is going to be curbs in place and me installing the drains in the drain pipe. It's all purchased. It's all, we're all ready. I just have to get to it. And I've been waiting to get this done. So Greg and his crew are doing a great job. They've got in here. I'm a happy camper. I'm relieved. They've already got snow forecast for this weekend. So if I can get this floor poured and cured by the 1st of November, cured being the big thing, put weight on it, a lot of equipment will get moved in here into the center of the space, freeing up the garage, freeing up the press will be going in there, the tanks will be going in there, things that were supposed to be in there will get put in there, and that will free up a lot of room. Also, the propane tanks that heat Dottie's shop can go back in there to get the heat on in Dottie's shop. So, such as it is, we're moving along. I don't expect any heat in here. I might put plastic up in here or skin the outside walls like I did the other ones, so that if I do want to put a space heater in here while I'm working for something, I'll have that. The same thing goes with this, the wall between the tack room and the cider space. That beautiful aged oak will be taken off with a sledgehammer and set aside, and that wall will get put up at least on one side, the side facing in, and then I'll think about how I'm going to put the other wall in. I want it to insulate, so again. So there you have it. It's a 70-degree day in Pennsylvania, go figure, but snow this weekend. It's beginning. My first real goal is not only to be able to do custom pressing for people, it's not selling hard cider. It's selling, following Steve Wood's model, yay Steve, is sell juice. Other people too. Sell juice, sell fruit, and press enough so that I have enough hooch to learn from. Doing what Courtney did, and that is do sample batches, fruit by fruit, to get an idea and practice blending. It's a slow process learning this, but you take lots of notes and you try, and Courtney and other people have done such a good job of blogging it. I want to say that you don't have to start from scratch on the learning curve. The only thing you're short of is time. See you at Cider Day, I hope? Yeah, it's going to be a good time. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.